I am very unusual in that as a teenager, like 14 years old, this German smith came to town, and I made a reason to go down to his shop. I worked in a machine shop repairing car engines for 16 years before that job went away, and I decided that I had better try this full time rather than just being 50 years old and saying, geez, I wish I tried that. But like I say, it's always something I've been interested in. I don't like getting into this weird Shirley MacLaine stuff, but you always had a feeling you'd be doing this, and you look at pieces sometimes and think, gee, I've seen that somewhere before, but I don't understand it, and why bother trying? I'm just trying to have a bit of fun doing it. I'm very traditional. I do MIG welding and that when you have to, because you got to make a living. There are some absolute technique Nazis. There are people who everything has to be absolutely traditional, and some people are halfway in between, and some people are quite modern. It's mostly decorative work. I mean, tables and railings. The bird bath I'm leaning on here. I have this piece back behind me. There's part of a weather vane.
I've been doing this in one form or another for over 20 years now. Right out of high school I started and have done it. Worked for 4 years under a master blacksmith, and that's where I got my training. And then several years just learning the ropes, School of Hard Knocks, that sort of thing. I've always been interested in history and Middle Ages, Dark Ages, classical Rome, Greece, that sort of thing, and armor and weapons were always a big interest to me as a kid growing up. So that was really where my interest lied when I started as a teenager and kind of went from there. I've also been always very interested in sculpture, so I've always taken a very sculptural kind of direction in my work. Like blacksmithing encompasses such a broad range of possibilities. It's really an infinite sort of thing. There's so many different directions you can take. So I've kind of taken my few specific paths, and it's something that just keeps evolving and unfolding as I go along. Basically what I'm doing is using the same techniques that have been used for thousands of years. The application of force may be slightly different in some cases where I will use electrical equipment. I also use power hammer, different things like that, but essentially the same use of a forge. I'm using coal-fired forges, heating the steel up to a yellow heat and hammering it into shape using hammers and different punches and grifts and tools that have been used throughout the ages for thousands of years. So the technique is virtually the same as it has been for centuries.